Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out. Today we're talking about the differences between Kaidogoau and QuikClot. Which one is better? I'll let you decide, but I'm going to give you the facts. Hang out. We're talking about that next. All right, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit that like and subscribe button. That is a free way to support me here at Mountain Man Medical. So if you got anything out of this and you like what you saw, that's an easy way to help me to keep doing what I'm doing here. Today, we're gonna talk about QuikClot and Kaidogoau and the differences between that. Tourniquets are great. They're fantastic. They work really well at controlling bleeding, and they're easy to use by just about anybody. But the problem is that they only work on your arms and legs. You need to learn wound packing so that you can adequately control life-threatening bleeding. The only way that we can pack a wound effectively is by using gauze. Gauze is just a piece of fabric that we stuff, cram it, pack it down into the wound so that we get the mechanical action. This gauze is forced into the wound and it applies direct pressure to that bleeding artery. That is what is controlling our bleeding for the most part. It's nice if we have something like QuikClot or Kaidogoau, which has a hemostatic agent in it. This is beneficial, but it's not what we're after. What we're after is this mechanical action, packing so much gauze into the wound that the bleeding artery has no choice but to stop bleeding and save that person's life. I say all of that just so that you know that if you don't have QuikClot or Kaidogoau, that's okay. You can still save someone's life. This provides an added benefit of the hemostatic agent. That's nice to have, but it's not required. What does hemostatic mean? That's just a fancy word for it makes the blood clot more quickly and more effectively. And each of these do a similar type of job, but they do it in a slightly different way. And while it's nice to have that benefit, what we're really after is packing the wound. So don't let this get you down. If you don't have these or you can't afford them, it's nice to have, and I recommend that you do have them because any added benefit is important. But if you don't have it, don't worry. You can make do with just some regular gauze like this. This is much cheaper, much easier to find, and will work very, very well for you. This is normal gauze. It is completely untreated. It is just the fabric. There's nothing special about it, but you can still save somebody's life very effectively with this if you understand proper wound packing. And we have a class on that on our mountainmanmedical.com website where we have a free trauma class called the Emergency Trauma Response Course. It'll take you about an hour and 17 minutes and it'll teach you about wound packing, tourniquet application, chest seals, and a variety of other things that'll help you use that kit to its greatest potential. All right, so what are the differences between Kaidogoau and QuikClot? QuikClot is the more widely recognized hemostatic agent that's out there on the market. A lot of people know that because it got its first start in the military, helping save casualties on the battlefield. When it originally came out, it was in a powder form, which was kind of dangerous in a way. It had a thermogenic reaction, which means it heated up very rapidly and very quickly. And it was a little bit dangerous for the casualty and the first responder, especially in windy conditions where the granulars of this powder could be blown into the eyes and cause a heat reaction. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. This is not an issue with QuikClot any longer. They don't use those granules. This is an impregnated gauze. There's no heat reaction that is generated when you pack this into the wound, so don't let that intimidate you. So these two products are trying to achieve the same basic goal. We're trying to reduce the amount of bleeding in that person. Ideally, what we're trying to get is a nice, robust clot to form at the end of that severed artery, which is going to act like a plug and help to keep more blood in our casualty, which is what our goal is. But the way that these two items achieve that process is a little bit different because of the substance that it uses to achieve that hemostatic effect. Kaidogoau uses a substance called chitosan. It's derived from shellfish, primarily shrimp, if I understand right. And that might make you concerned that this product would be dangerous for somebody with shellfish allergies. But I've talked to the manufacturers who produce this, and that is not a risk. There hasn't been a single case of Kaidogoau causing an allergic reaction in somebody with a shellfish allergy. So don't let that deter you from using this product. The chitosan inside of Kaidogoau acts to thicken the fluid that the blood cells are in to help achieve this homeostasis or to reduce this bleeding problem. Whereas QuikClot is different. It acts to improve your body's already naturally occurring ability to have blood coagulation to get that nice robust clot that we're looking for. So you get a similar effect, but it's achieved in very different ways. The chitosan that's inside of Kaidogoau also has the added benefit of being antimicrobial. So it helps to reduce the chance for infection in the long run. But ideally, that's not our main concern as first responder medics. All I care about is stopping the bleeding and then transporting that casualty or victim to a hospital where they're going to get antibiotics and get taken care of that way. So that's not a huge concern of ours as civilian medics, but something to keep in consideration. And the last thing I got to say on this is that these come in various sizes. And the more gauze you have, the better. The problem is this is a little bit spendy. So if you get one, you should definitely have two. But one of the problems is that this can get a little expensive, and so you can kind of help out a little bit by purchasing some less expensive gauze that is not treated with a hemostatic agent. The proper technique is that if you have some of this, we want to pack this into the wound first, so this direct contact with that bleeding artery and getting us that nice robust clot. But then if we still need more gauze because this wound is so big, we're going to follow that up with our untreated gauze on top to maintain that pressure. If you want to learn more about wound packing, head over to mountainmanmedical.com and check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits. And don't forget to check out that emergency trauma response course to learn more about all of this kind of stuff. Follow us on all the social medias. I'll catch you guys in the next one.